Welcome. I'm Janet Connor, and I'm here to share with you a very, very big idea: how to create a beautiful year, a beautiful life without a single New Year's resolution. So let's plunge into this radical idea because everybody on the planet makes New Year's resolutions, right? There is something about that turning of the earth for a new season, a new year, a new cycle around the sun. And we all want to do something, and we all want a new start. So what do? Culturally, we create New Year's resolutions. Big idea number one: New Year's resolutions do not work. You probably know that from your own personal experience. And if you Google it online, you can read a slew of articles that indicate that 80, 85, even over 90% of New Year's resolutions are never fulfilled. Now, why is this? Why don't they work? Well, they're constructed on serious fault lines. The number one fault line is your resolution is a straight line, the weakest geometric symbol. It's a line, it's a stick, and we all know how easy it is to break a stick. But the bigger problem is that they create a duality struggle, classic duality struggle. Here's who I am right now, and here's who I think I want to be. Here's my weight right now. Isn't that such a common New Year's resolution? And here's the weight I want to be. And so you're right away putting yourself in struggle with yourself. And so the first time you don't eat those veggies, go for a walk, meditate, whatever your New Year's resolution is, that internal critical voice that we all have, maybe even a whole host of them, comes bubbling up to let you know just how weak you are. But you're not weak. You're just on a weak line. Your resolution plopped you down on, let's call it point A, and has you looking out at point B. This is where I want to be. But that resolution has no intrinsic holding power. It is not utilizing all of your soul's talents that we're going to talk about in a few minutes. And so it doesn't generate the power, the energy, the drive to go down that line. And so you have to come up with it. And every single day you're struggling so hard. I am going to eat my veggies. I am going to go for that walk. And you don't, because it isn't pulling you forward. It's pushing you from behind. The other problem with New Year's resolutions is they keep your attention on something external. The health I'm going to have, the wealth I'm going to have, the body I'm going to have. And I think we all know that success, power, happiness have to be internal. So that's a major fault with New Year's resolutions. Another huge one is they work so slowly, 365 days. Do you know anyone that has stayed on that path for 365 days? In the next half hour, I'm going to introduce you to a different way of creating a life that happens instantaneously because of the way the universe is constructed. It's called quantum entanglement. Hang on to that idea. New Year's resolutions have no quantum entanglement power. If you look back at all the New Year's resolutions you've made over the last few years, really honestly write them all down and look at them, and they're probably all the same one. That's such a common human situation. But look at them and ask yourself, is this resolution integral to my soul's purpose? Probably not. And last, and the biggest fault, I think, with New Year's resolutions and with most goals is they create a desired outcome from the get-go that's extraordinarily narrow, tiny, small. I will only be a success if this tiny, narrow thing happens. When in reality, if you created a life in a whole new way, there's a whole range of possibilities. You're not going to want to focus on that tiny little narrow outcome. You want the entire array of desirable outcomes. So check that off your box. New Year's resolutions don't work. Don't have to make another one.